Hi, I'm Elizabeth O'Shea and this is my top 20 parenting tips. Tip number 7, make rules and be consistent with positive discipline. If you notice all the good things your child does and tell your child each time they do, your child will be much more motivated to behave. However, there will be times when children test the boundaries and need to understand that there are natural consequences when they cross them. If you have a partner, it's best to set rules together. That way you're more likely to remember and enforce them. Try not to have lists about everything. Think about what's causing the biggest problem in your family at the moment and create achievable rules around that area, such as meal times or bedtimes. Let your child know in advance when the new rule will start. So from Monday there will be a new rule that you need to pack your school bag, make your lunch and lay out your uniform before you go to bed. You'll need to plan what rules you want to have and then be consistent in following them. The first part is deciding what rules you want to have in your house. Some families sit down at a family meeting and plan the rules, writing them out on decorated charts and having rewards for following the rules and consequences if they're not followed. Other families are much more laid back, chatting about the rules over a meal. Whatever your family's like, it's important that you as parents guide the process by deciding beforehand what's important to you. Your values and what you really want to happen will make life calmer and happier. The next step is to talk the children through what needs to happen at different times of the day to reduce the stress. So if getting ready for school is a difficult time in your family, talk the children through what will happen and when. For example, I'll wake you up at 6:45, you get dressed, put everything in your book bag ready for school. At 7:15, we sit down for breakfast together. After breakfast, you wash your face, clean your teeth and pack your lunchbox. And at 7:45, I'll say it's time to put your shoes on and we leave for school at 7:50. When the routine's been explained clearly, ask your children to repeat it back to you to make sure they understand what will happen. Talk it through with them just before bed and again when they wake up in the morning. Ask them if they remember what the plan is and what they need to do first. Other rules and routines can be managed in the same way. Decide what needs to happen, talk the children through the good behaviour you want and have a reward for doing it. Let them know what natural consequences will happen if they don't cooperate. Sometimes just the absence of a reward is enough to motivate the children to behave. Other consequences can be natural consequences, such as getting the child to clear up the mess they've made or having to help the parent for the same length of time that the parent has to do something for the child. Could be that the child doesn't earn a privilege. A younger child may need to repeat a request without whining, or they have to wait for a while. The child may need to apologise to someone that they've hurt or do something kind or helpful to make up for offending them. The child may need to sit apart for a while or have some time out. It's important that children are able to calm down, recognise their mistake, make amends, learn any lessons and then move on. And there's the hard bit, being consistent. Many parents have gone through setting rules at some point in time, but parents get tired like everyone else. Sometimes we just don't feel we have the energy to follow through. Just this once we let our child get away with it, and that's our downfall. Children learn that the rules are flexible, there's a chink in the armour, and that's when all the planning and good intentions fall by the wayside. Toddlers learn if they whine a bit louder and push a bit harder, they can have that biscuit. Teenagers learn that when Dad comes home you can ask for extra money because he's just too tired to argue. Where there's flexibility, there's a chance they can get away with it, so they push that little bit harder and they keep pushing just in case there's some leeway today. If we really want our day to go smoothly, our children to behave and for there to be a calmer atmosphere in our home, we have to insist that the children follow the guidelines. If you decide to make an exception, tell them in advance. Say, today, because we have visitors, I'll let you stay up till 9 o'clock, but tomorrow we'll be back to bedtime at 8. Otherwise, stick to the plan. Both parents, all the time, even when you're tired, especially when you're tired. I can only say that when I'm consistent about the behaviour I expect from my children, everything improves. Their behaviour, my relationship with them, meal times, the mood, getting ready to go out, the pleasure of being with them, everything. One last thing to remember is the reason we discipline children is to help them develop their own self-discipline. When you shout and blame your child, their defences go up and we can't learn from our mistakes at that point. Helping them develop self-control and self-discipline will be the only way to ensure that they behave when you're not around.